Hi, and very warm welcome to Scott, or welcome back again. We are with you today uh, or tonight with another webinar from a Scott series. Today's webinar is taking us to a very important discussion item with a team of experts that are going to deliver a message from industry academic discussion and bring the voice of place. As you know, Scott has been echoing the seldom voices within small communities and to create this dialogue. We have been around the world with speakers, over 100 webinars from local communities have been set with Scott so far to bring these voices and to create this dialogue that we can understand what the local communities and how they perceive the tourism in their destination. Today's webinar has a wonderful team. I'm going to introduce Sylvia without any further ado, that is going to moderate this webinar, and she is a researcher and executive coordinator of Creator Observatory at the Center for Social Studies of the University of Coimbra. She has held research activities and developed projects in cooperation and collaboration with public and private organizations. She was the researcher and research manager of Create Tourism Destination Development in Small Cities and Rural Areas, and researcher in the project Uncharted, Understanding, Capturing, and Fostering the Social Value of Culture and in situ place-based in innovation of cultural and creative industries in non-urban areas. She has co-facilitated consultation, ideation, and prototyping sessions in the area of culture and tourism. And her main research interest issues are cultural policies and practices, creative tourism, culture-based regional local development, participation, and collaborative practices. Sylvia, you have done the diversified area that all I'm personally very interested in, and we are very much looking forward to hear from you and the wonderful team that are going to deliver and share experiences with us today. Without further ado, I pass it on to you, Sylvia, and we invite all speakers to the webinar tonight. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much for such a very long and beautiful introduction from me. So yes, I'm Sylvia. Thank you so much. And first of all, I would like to thank all the Scott team to pulling together all these different webinars, including this one. It is great to have these spaces, even if online, to talk together and to join forces on the things that interest us jointly. Yes, I would just like to also welcome and really a warm welcome to everyone that is joining us today for this session, and a special thank you to all of these panelists and speakers that we will have today. Thank you so much for accepting this invitation and for sharing your insights. Thank you so much of that. So for today's session, the Voices of Place. Actually, the title was chosen intentionally because we believe that culture is not something that is added to a location. It is something that it is intrinsically part of it, right? It grows from its soil almost. And in the context of tourism, culture and cultural actors, they can unlock an immense potential of by creating value, added value from local local traditions and resources, offer unique and place-based experiences to inspire both visitors and local communities, to build this collective capacity, to foster economic growth, and to promote social cohesion through this engagement in cultural and artistic practices. So I think that, in other words, we are talking about a new understanding of tourism and its connection and impact and value to and within the communities. So we now see this tourism as a tool for the well-being of communities and not just based on the economic sustainability of the sector itself. So all of this is very much aligned with the idea of the regenerative tourism as a new intentional look at the tourism activity to prioritize the improvement of territories and individual and collective well-being. That implies very close links between local cultural initiatives and tourism for the benefit of the community. So today we are joined by both practitioners and researchers who are doing this beautiful work of placemaking and discussion how these local traditions and local culture can be leveraged and aligned with tourism offering, I think. So we are very thrilled to have such a diverse panel to help us understand how tourism can become this asset for community resilience and social cohesion, and to contribute to put artists and the cultural programmers at the decision-making table in tourism development as well. So some information about the session, how the session will go. My role today is trying to keep us on time, but also to be a little bit of the chat whiz, if we say so. That means that I'll be keeping an eye on the Zoom chat, and we know that many of you join us are researchers, other cultural practitioners, or tourism professionals yourselves. So we want to hear your voices as well. So as your speakers present, just feel free to put your questions and reflections, or even the links of your own projects if you want in the chat. So we have this incredible lineup of 4 presenters and 2 panelists, and to ensure that we have plenty of time to have a discussion and with your questions. We asked our speakers to give us a very light overview of their work in about 5 minutes. I know that it's a challenge, but we will keep it will keep our energy high, I'm sure. After the presentations, we will have a short 5-minute cultural break with a video from the Criatur project that was on creative tourism in Portugal. And then we will open the floor for questions. So who do we have with us? We have our first presenter will be Krešimir, that is joining us from Šibenik in Croatia. And he's a consultant and a creative producer who has spent over 30 years at this intersection of marketing and sustainable heritage, developing strategies for visibility, promotion, and sustainable growth, and specialize in tourism that is based on the sustainable use of cultural and natural heritage. And currently, he is focused on developing the Azimuth Digital Arts and Media Center in Šibenik and launching Hype, that it's a new digital platform to promote and to connect audiences and artists as well. And Krešimir, if you want to wave, it's here.
Hello,
there.
hello, Silva. Hello, everybody. Hope you can hear me now. This is that point when we check if we rehearsed everything and everything worked, but now it's online and there is a good possibility that something stops. So this is the nervous part.
No, it's perfect. It's perfect like that. Thank you so much, Krešimir. And then after Krešimir, I'm just going to go all in a row so that we can have all of this beautiful presentations right after. So after Krešimir, we'll have travel to Portugal, to a schist village at the center of Portugal, and we will meet Katia. Katia is the general coordinator of Lusitania, a non-profit association that is dedicated to protect and to promote the cultural and the environmental heritage of Lusa Mountains, where she lives too. And from reviving traditional cork mask carnivals to managing a community herd of goats and an endogenous tree nursery as well to prevent wildfires. Her work is truly aligned with this regenerative tourism approach. And she's managed the Ecomuseu do Xisto and works to stimulate culture in remote and mountainous areas as well. Thank you so much, Katja. You can say hi as well, you're there.
Thank you so much, Silvia.
And then after Katja, from these remote mountains in Portugal to the valleys of Iceland, we will welcome Einar. Hi, Einar. Thank you so much for being here. And he's known as the culture farmer. He and his wife, Elga, they run, and let's try my best Icelandic accent now, the Estadir dairy farm. And beyond the cheese making and the tourism, he leads a small company also dedicated to preserving the Icelandic cultural and intangible heritage. And his current project is on the Icelandic Júdalads, and it blends history, humor, and education. But he will talk very much better about it than me. Hi, thank you so much for being here. Let me say, I don't know if you can say hello. Can we try it?
Oh, no sound yet.
Unmute, yeah, unmute yourself. No, yes. You have to unmute, Einar.
Can we do that?
Yes.
Okay, so you hear me?
Perfect.
Yes, perfect. Nice to hear your voice. Thank you so much for being here. And then after being in Iceland, we will have our final practitioner of the day, that is Sabine, who is managing this, and another try to a different accent, managing the Valmiera Muža Association of Culture in Latvia since 2016. And Sabine is working on dedicating this transforming historical manners into high quality cultural spaces while respecting this historical landscape. She creates various projects and events related with cultural heritage, music, theater, contemporary art, and community involvement, cooperation, and civic participation. And she's currently leading an initiative to develop the Valmiera Manor Network, Valmiera County Manor Network. Hi, Sabine. If you want to say hello as well to everyone that is listening. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Sabine.
and thank you for the invitation to be here.
Thank you. And then after that, we will have our more academic focused reflection as well. So we will have Nancy Duxbury. That Nancy is a principal researcher at the Center for Social Studies in Coimbra, where she's coordinator of the interdisciplinary thematic line, Urban Cultures, Sociabilities and Participation. And she's also the coordinator of the Horizon Europe In Situ project, that is place-based innovation of culture and creative industries in non-urban areas, and leads the Creator Observatory on Culture and Tourism for Local Development. And among many other things, she has long expertise in cultural mapping and cultural sensitive local sustainability. Hi, Nancy, if you want also to say hello.
Silvia. Thank you. Thank you very much. And hello, everyone.
And then rounding out our panel, we have Irene Papadaki, that is Associate Professor at Hellenic Mediterranean University. Irene research explores the vital synergies between creative industries and tourism, with a specific focus on sustainability and digital communication, semiotics, and arts mediation. So her recent work, Digital Communication in Culture, the Greek example, provides some rich examples and insights on how cultural institutions can use digital platforms for branding, sustainability, and audience engagement. Hi, Irene, thank you so much. If you want to say hi, hello. Thank you so much. Okay, so as you can see, we have a very good and rich panel. So let's get started. And as mentioned, our first speaker is Krešimir. Krešimir, the floor is yours. So please tell us about your reflections.
Yeah, hello everybody. Hello once again, Silva. Thank you for inviting me here. It's really a pleasure to be here, especially since we heard that a lot of people will be joining us all over the world. So it will be a real pleasure to speak about. I will not speak about my work at all. I would speak about my city case, which is pretty peculiar. That's why the presentation is called The Peculiar Case of City of Šibenik in Croatia. It's the place where something that usually cannot match, somehow matched. And it created a very, very nice atmosphere in the city. It created very, very lucrative business of tourism, but also created a city where you want to live, where you want to be a part of. So let me share the presentation now. Please tell me it's working.
Perfect.
Yeah,
thank
you very much. So now we will go. I will really try to stay in the 5 minutes because it's a long and great story, and I like to tell it. Actually, as Silva said, I come from marketing part, so I was the one who was pushing, more and more, and earn money, market, promote, and then at one point of my career, I realized that there is something called over tourism, and there is something called lacking quality of life and destroying quality of life because of selling out in tourism. And this is why this case of the city of Šibenik, my city, is very, very interesting, because it's one of the rare places on the Adriatic coast in Croatia that managed to keep the balance. Okay, so to understand the situation, we must go back in former Yugoslavia. Šibenik was not a touristic place, although it's on the Adriatic coast. It wasn't a touristic place; it was an industry place. And then, of course, in the 19th we had a war. It was the age of destruction. So overnight, Šibenik, which was a pretty successful industry place, remained with nothing. It was destructed. People went out, so no engineers anymore, no people from production. So those were very, very hard years for Šibenik. And then in 2000, Croatia started to develop again the tourism after the war, but Šibenik was not in that first wave. Everybody heard about Zagreb, Pula, Zadar, Split, Dubrovnik, Plitvice, but nobody heard about Šibenik. So we were staying behind everybody, and we were not developing tourism as everybody else. And that was really, really hard part in our history, because a lot of people moved out from Šibenik. Šibenik lost almost 20% of the inhabitants. And we were always we were always going behind Zadar and Split, especially if you see Zadar and Split on this map. Šibenik is right in between. So it's in between two bigger cities. And we always had to compete with bigger cities for everything. And we were always losing. Let's be clear. We were losing the game from all sides, because the Split is much bigger city. Zadar is much bigger, much richer city. And everything, we couldn't do anything bigger or better than them. So we were falling behind, and it was really a rough time for Šibenik. And then something really strange happened. Šibenik was, as I said, not a touristic place. We didn't have any touristic beds inside the city. We had only one hotel with 15 rooms, and that was everything. And the first tourists, then happened a festival called Terraneo. It was a festival that lasted for 3 years. And as you can see, we had the Prodigy, we had a lot of world famous bands, and we had over 15,000 people from all over the world coming into the city for the first time. Šibenik was not a touristic city. So we never saw a family tourists with kids, on the beach. We were not sun and sand destination like all the others. The first tourists that we ever saw in Šibenik were the British backpackers and the Belgian, the people coming all over the place with just their backpacks and listening to good music. And the city was sold out. everything. Oh, everybody was renting their rooms and their apartments. And the first real tourism that came in Šibenik came with culture, came with concert, came with good music. And it was really, really funny to see all those hipsters coming in our perspective from no apparent reason, just coming to listen to the music. And that was a key point of differentiation. So the culture in Šibenik was the key attraction to attract tourists. Don't forget, Šibenik was very poor at the moment, big unemployment, industry gone. And now we have tourism based on culture. And that was the first key point. Second thing was, everybody else was already developing tourism, but mass tourism based on beaches, sun and sand. And we were different. For the first time, Šibenik was better in something than Zadar and Split. Maybe not better, maybe different. We found our niche. So it was like our identity. It was our differentiation to be a place of culture. And it was really strange. And then it was 2010s, and the two things happened. First, we were entering European Union, and that was one good thing. So we could invest, we could write projects and invest in our future. And also the money from tourism started to pour in from all these infrastructures. And so we decided to create a campaign called City is a Stage. So all our tourism was based on culture, not on mass stuff like that. The festival was not successful in financial sense, but the festival people broke in two parts. One went in the public culture domain, in public institutions, local public institutions. As you can see, they really managed, for a small city like Šibenik, they really managed to, they have over 100 concerts a year, and we have world famous people coming in Šibenik now. Šibenik became a place in Croatia famous for good concerts in a very, very good atmosphere, because as you can see on this, we reinvented our fortresses and made them like new stages. So it's always a good music. I mean, now we have Skanka Nansi, we had Morčiba for New Year's Eve, we had Lordi. So we are attracting a lot of people coming just for good music in Šibenik. It also reflected not just on public institutions, but in the civil sector, which I belong now. This place that you see, it's called Azimut, and it has over 220 concerts and all other events in the year. And it involves local people. It involves local people in organizing, in performing. So the real important stuff is that culture is not just a selling point for tourism. Now it became a way of life in Šibenik. So we have public domain investing in culture because it pays off on tourism. We have a civil domain investing in culture because it's a thing to do. So it's a very, very strange place, because now the public domain and the civil domain in Šibenik work together, which is pretty unusual for small places like Šibenik. And together we are creating a Ship Showcase Festival, which is the biggest Croatian festival of alternative music. It's like, if you know Ljubljana Ment or something like that, it's one of the biggest festivals now in Croatia, in music festivals in Croatia, and it's done together, public institutions, civil domain, individuals. It's happening all over the place. We created so many stages and so many places of performance, and it's a really unique place where everybody works together on culture. And to finish this, the thing is that Šibenik shown one thing: culture can be main attraction. Culture can be a part of key differentiation between us and the rest of the Adriatic coast. And the culture can be a way of life, because as I said, people now identify with the cultural activities. Šibenik now is a different place from all others. We like to say we're different. We like to say we're not like Zadar and Split and all other cities that just have, I mean, alternative became mainstream in Šibenik. So it's very, very strange situation now, but it's also pretty good. And to conclude with the problems, and something that we can open up and talk more about later, and I guess we will be, the main problem is importing so many international culture. How does it reflect on the local identity? did we lose our identity? And the short answer is no, because we gave it's how should I explain it? So we included international culture into our heritage. So it's a concert on the Fortress. The Fortress is a part of event. Fortress is our heritage. And it's not like we're just promoting concerts. It's not just like we're promoting imported culture and art, but it always has a strong identity in our local, because it's a Fortress culture. It's a culture. It's a concert in our Fortress. We have 2 UNESCO monuments. All of them are hosting cultural events. So we're mixing places, our local places, with international culture, and then the international events become our local events, if you understand what I mean. But there are also many problems operating on a small scale, because when you have 30,000 people and you invite some world famous stars, you know, it cannot be financially viable, but it makes a good life. So everybody's investing it. And the last problem is time space. As I said, small city, small audience, small target place. And there cannot be 2 or 3 or 4 events at the same time. And to be honest, we have over 2,000 different events in a year, and we have problem of overlapping, of mismatching. We have a problem of 5 events at the same time, and that's why we started to develop that program, Repertoire or HYPE, which is a calendar and coordination of everybody involved. And I guess we will talk about that later. So I just wanted to state the city I come from and our perspective of culture and tourism, that can be not only something that we live off, but something that we live for.
Thank you so much, Krešimir, for the beautiful ideas and the very good reflections already for people to start to think and discuss. So thank you so much for showing this. Actually, our culture and creative sparks can translate into local impact. Okay, so now we will go to Katja, and Katja, to have a completely different focus on more mountain. Katja, the floor is yours, please, whenever you want.
Hi, I will start to share.
Yes.
Just a minute, please. So, is everyone seeing?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I will try to be fast because I know that we only have 5 minutes. So, good morning to everyone. My name is Katja. I'm from Portugal, and I will talk about a little bit of Lusitania, a non-profit association that is centered in Portugal that works to protect the heritage of the Lausanne Mountain. Who is Lusitania? So Lusitania, as I said previously, it's a non-profit association, was created in 2003. It's located in the schist village called Aigre Nova, one of the 28 schist villages of the center of Portugal. What is a schist village? It's like a recent project that was born to protect and revitalize the old stone village. Has the unique, they have the unique architectural heritage, and they create this brand to fight against the abandon of the interior of Portugal. And the biggest main objective of Lusitania is to preserve at the same time promote a heritage of this mountain. As the theme of this webinar, it's the voices of the places. We will try to explore what is the voice of Lusitania on this territory. Our team has cultural agents which works based on local identity, memory, and way of living of this village, and we act as a bridge between the community and the tourism. Has a good symbiosis. Okay. Has the Lusitanians seen like the guardians of the intangible heritage, because we preserve the tradition. The association when reached to Aigre Nova to start to work on the cultural heritage. We start to ask to the old people who lived in the village how they celebrate the carnival season. And one lady started to talk about one curiosity, the other guy said another curiosity, and we start to create a new history. We don't know for sure if it was like 100% like that, but for now on, he's already 21 years old of this event, and the thing is that we start in 2005 with 5 people, and nowadays we are 55 people who use the cork masks, and we have almost 1,000 people visiting this village on the carnival season. How Lusitania is seen as well as a creator of the local value, because we do some transformation about the tradition into all authentic cultural experience. So the people can visit like the museums to know how the people lived on this village, and we create a new experience for the people, put the hands on the, for example, the bread, and getting know better these stories. We also have the engagement of the indigenous resources of and the local narratives, like we catch the carnival in our intrudo story. We also have the differentiation of the territory in the context of the tourism. We are an active participation of. We put like the local people working with us, like they have a sense of belonging to the village and creating a collective identity. Has Lusitania it's seen like a mediator between the sectors. Lusitania promotes dialogues between tourism, culture, and academia, which allows for the creation of forms of cultural governance based on the territory and the local communities. From the culture practice, developing the field knowledge, it's produced that it's not only theoretical, but practical, and it's applied. Okay. Thus, all these actions converts to toward the same goal: to promote sustainable cultural development that value the territory, its the people, and the local identity. To try to explain a little bit better what we do for the mountain, for the community, we act into two big levels. We work to the environment heritage, the cultural heritage. In the nature heritage, we work with the local communities, the schools. We have like an open classes for the schools to getting know the environment knowledge, the importance of the native flowers for the mountains, because unfortunately the Lausanne mountain has a huge monocultural of the invasive forests. We also have a nursery tree. It's the only nursery tree that we have in Portugal that only exists by for the working of the knowledge of the importance of the native trees that we need for against the fires, because they can fight better the fires than the invasive trees. We also have like visiting walking guide tours to see the wild deers, how they belong, how they lived, and how can we know about them, the behavior of them in our mountain. And in the cultural way, we have like several experience that the people can learn about the museums, that how the locals lived in the old ways, and we reproduce that experience of the well-known. For example, we do the workshop of the cheese, the bread, of filhoche. It's like a gastronomic experience. We do some events for the local community to bring them together, to share some, because we want the community to be like a good environment for all. They like they feeling good to live there because they're a village that's only live one person in one village. Okay. We also do the maintaining of the trails of the council of Goiás. It's the council of it's located on this region of the mountain. We also have the intrudo, as I told you before, the tradition that we starting to create because the people in the 80s in this village had to leave to the big cities to find a better way of living, a better quality life. So as the people leave, they start to have the childs in the cities, the grandson in the cities, and the information about the traditions broke on the time that they left. So this intrude is very specifically important for us because it was a tradition that already died in the 80s, and the association we reborn again this tradition that have been already lost. We also do some voluntary activities since August of last year in 2025 because of the big fires in Portugal. Unfortunately, our village were caught with the big fire of Lausanne, and with that, we know that we have to create a new project. It's the community true of sheep and goats that help us to clean the village and give us like another. It's not a product, but it's like a new. A new thing to visit the village, so the people can visit the goats and the sheep, can make the workshop of the cheese, can stay with them to learn how do we manage the behavior of the locals in the villages with the animals, and help us at the same time to clean the village to avoid big fires again. Okay, and that's it. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed.
Thank you so much, Katya. And I think that it's really, yes, it's clear the power of the connections and the listening to the communities and how these culture and cultural actors can be the first responders in some cases to community building as well. So now we are going to travel to a different landscape. So Borgum Reinar, we are very eager to hear your perspective now from Iceland. So yes, whenever you're ready. Thank you so much for being here.
Yes, good morning. And thank you all for participating. It's hopefully we will have a nice time together.
Thank you. Thank you.
Here in Iceland, it is a tradition to tell stories. So I'm gonna tell you a story without have any projector slides or anything.
That's great. Yeah.
So about 300 years ago, people started to talk about jólalads in Iceland. Jólalads are what in most countries today are known as Santa Claus. But in Iceland, they appeared long before Santa Claus. And they are all related in food and food preserving and trying to have a nice household before Christmas. So we have 13 of those, and we have their father and mother who are evil and bad and never bathe. And they also have one pet, a cat. The cat only eats during Christmas, and he eats the people who don't get any Christmas gift. And usually the Christmas gifts at those times were some clothing, some food, some candlelight. And the candlelight was the most precious because in Iceland they had very long and dark winters, cold winters. And when traveling outside, for example, during the day, The daylight was only lasting maybe 4 hours. And if there was no snow to cover the country was totally black. And you were totally out of sight. You could not see anything. And you wanted to travel from one region to another, over a mountain maybe, and there was no light anywhere. Light was very expensive. And when people were traveling over the mountains, came down to the New Valley, where they did not know maybe the route where their farms were staying. So they had to try to find a light. And if they were lucky, maybe some small candlelight from a very small window, maybe maximum about the size of an A4 paper. That could be enough for you to have a guiding light to find a place to go to after a long journey over the mountain. And these lights, they were so important that today, when we have electrical light in all houses and everywhere, we light everything up during the winter. I don't know how many outdoor lights we have. I have one on each side of my house and my barn. Probably 12, 13 outdoor lights we have. And that's because from the olden days when people needed the guiding light. And the positive thing about the light in Iceland is also we have never had to hide the light. We have never had wars where we were asked to turn down the lights. So the airplanes or whatever could not see where we had homes or other buildings. So the light, when we finally got the electrical light in Iceland, we started to use it. And lots of foreign people, when they come to Iceland, they don't understand this, why you are wasting so much energy for an outdoor light in the middle of the night when no one is around. But the thing is, there are so long distances between places. So if you today have a car crash or some incident and you get stuck somewhere, even though you have those phones today, you might be out of signal. You might lose it during the accident or whatever. So a light, nearby light, is very important. And in 2 weeks' time, we will put up a monument about the last Julelat called Candle Eater. And that monument will be placed very close to an old mountain road where people were coming over the mountain when they were going from other areas to come into our area to either buy some goods or go fishing. And that monument will talk a little bit history about the meaning of the light in Iceland. And because Candle Eater likes the light, the candle lights, those candles were made from animal fat. So they could both be used to be eaten, to keep you alive if needed, and also to turn on while being inside. Of course, candle light cannot stay alive in Icelandic outdoor life. So my project is about those 13 Julelats. Each and every one has a different story to tell. And we are going to place them in 13 different places here around my area. We have the goal now to put up 4 others this year. One which will talk about when people had to travel far away to get goods for the household. One which will tell the story of education. And one will tell the story of weather, how much we are depending on the weather. I, as a farmer, for example, in the summer when I have maybe 6, 8 foreign workers on the farm and people ask me at night before what to do tomorrow, I can give you 3 or 4 answers and they are all related to what the weather will be like tomorrow. So that's my point of view for now. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And yeah, this idea of storytelling and place-based storytelling is very central to what we are listening and discussing today. So thank you so much. And now moving from Iceland to the Baltic context let's welcome Sabine. Sabine, we are looking forward. So the floor is yours as well. Thank you so much.
Yes, hi, thank you. I will share my screen so you can see my presentation.
Yes.
Can you
perfect.
see it?
Yes,
Yeah?
perfect. Thank you.
Great. We all met in situ project. So this is one of the case studies that was in the project Manor network for the place I'm living, Valmiera County. And yes, so where are we? Near the Baltic Sea. If you know the 3 Baltic countries, we are in the middle, and Valmiera County is in the northern part of Latvia. We are small and decreasing each year, I think. So in all county, we have a bit more than 22,000 inhabitants. We are green, but industrial city Valmiera is here, but agriculture is in the county. Valmiera is a sports city, but we have a traditional culture as well. And we counted last year that we have around 80 manors. So the cultural heritage is in a county, not in the city, but around the county, because Valmiera doesn't have this like beautiful historical old city, but our heritage is outside the city. So that was the main idea when we started this network, that if we want to develop this heritage that we have, we need to strengthen the community that is connected with the heritage. So the Manor Network is a platform for cooperation for enthusiasts, employees, owners, guides, historians, and active NGOs of manor houses, castles, and other cultural heritage sites, because we are open to everyone. It's not like official organization, but it's interest group initiative that everyone can participate and explore together. And we meet the challenges, realize the ideas, and find new uses for historic sites as well. But the main thing is a tool for support for the solution of problems, knowledge gaps, and skills shortages. So it's very important to learn from each other, because we are very different in this network, but it's our strength somehow as well. So here you can see some of the manors that we have in Valmiera County. As you see, it's quite different. For example, I'm working in that is in the right side in the middle with the tower, and it's closed. It's not available for public because it's under like it's in a very bad position now. So it's conserved but not available. And we have beautiful park that is owned by municipality, and we have a barn there that is owned by business sector, and we can all work together to make this place alive, interesting for visitors and the local community as well. So when we met, we asked what the members would like to gain from this networking experience. And I have underlined something that is more related to tourism and tourism itself, of course, and about the preservation for the buildings and parks and gardens as well. We should all know our history to make great stories, as we heard before. and we need to involve our community, more local people. If we involve more local people, it's like more true for this place, not some kind of pass buyers now make great events, but when the locals do that, it's like more important. And of course, someone should know about that. So communication and marketing is a main expectation as well. And we, of course, we have some challenges and some solutions. As I said, network members are very diverse on a different stages in their development. It's about the buildings, and they have a different kind of interests. But then somehow it's like a strong part because then we can help each other more. But we still lack of networking skills and self-initiative. So that's what we are working with, this leadership. And as it said in Valmiera County tourism strategy that is just newly made, the tourism potential of manor houses is not realized. So I think we can help with that. And the solutions that we have done in these 2 years, we have our communication channel, Facebook group. All the meetings we are holding is happening in a different kind of manner because we all have to know what is in our county as well. And we develop workshops, seminars, not just for members, but for all the public and everyone who is interested in. And we have our visual identity for publicity made together with the Valmiera municipality. We have organized and participated in different kind of public discussions to highlight the heritage topic, not just in tourism, but in different other themes as well. We have a tourism road in progress. It's in cooperation with our local university, but we have video invitations to enjoy what manors offer in our county. Thank you. I try to be very short, and as we are talking about the culture experience as well, I want to just say that I myself in my workplace, that is Valmiera Muiža, we are organizing ethno music festival, and it's totally rooted in history, in traditions, and happens in a historical site. But it's I think very, very contemporary. So it's the mindset of how we see our heritage and how we can use it in a daily life. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sabine. Thank you for that. And yeah, beautiful insights. And I think that's a lot of good ideas for yeah, everyone that is listening to just put your reflections and questions in the chat. While we'll now have our practitioner light round, we will now have a different framework. So I'm turning now to Nancy. Nancy, please, the floor is yours. Share your reflections. Thank you.
Please cut me off after 5 minutes.
Yes, I'll do. Thank
I
you.
want to leave lots of time for discussions with these fascinating and inspiring projects. At first, I thought I could pull some key points from each of them, but they're also inspiring. So we'll leave that for later on. I'm here representing the In Situ project, which Sabine has mentioned, and actually most of our presenters are members of that. It's a European-funded Horizon Europe research and what we think practice-based project, connecting 13 partners plus just a minute, 12 case studies, organizations across Europe. We work in 6 regions, so you've heard from some of them today. Overall, it's the Azores Islands of Portugal, Ireland, non-urban regions in Ireland and in Iceland and Finland and Latvia and Croatia. And we're learning with and through inspiring practitioners who are using culture to make a difference in their place and learning about how do you advance innovative work in non-urban, say non-metropolitan areas with culture that makes a difference locally and more widely. We're finding the importance of connecting, and we just heard about the network, so that's perfect example, and collaboration, and that traditionally people doing cultural work are very isolated, feel isolated, are not connected locally or more widely, unless they are a network, which is rare, and that it's really important to build connections of all sorts, and not only within the cultural sector, but across, to include tourism and other sectors that are important locally, and more general organizations that may be local development agencies, municipalities, etc. We've seen that innovation in non-urban areas is really socially focused. It's not about inventing new technologies necessarily. It's about doing something new with the resources you have, and especially being inspired by the resources of your place, which can be, as we heard, both tangible and intangible. And I think the Icelandic example and this inspiring project really shows us what can be done with completely, or largely, let's say, intangible asset that is of that place, these stories, this, and it's not even historical stories, it's in living memory as well, and bringing them forward, revitalizing them through innovative actions and the monuments and the other activities that will attach to them to make them relevant today. And I think all of our case studies are doing that. And that culture really is an important value for local development. And I think, let's see, Chris Mears talked about it a lot, about cultural assets, cultural activity and agency activating or revitalizing or making culture a point of distinction for a place that we know within the tourism perspective is really important. But that what I've heard in all the projects is this balance, the need for balance between, yes, we want to invite others into our community for various reasons, but also with a local focus of action for the community. You cannot, I think today, really be an authentic enterprise, particularly in smaller places, unless you have a locally rooted focus, as well as this tourism enablement, because we know the resources that are brought forward through tourism activity that can be controlled, it is also valuable. Let's see. I've lost my order of notes, so that's okay. I think, Sylvia suggested at the beginning this importance of taking a regenerative approach, which we haven't fully discussed here, but we've been examining in various research areas, particularly looking at cultural actors, what they do within in situ and more widely in Portugal, when their focus is about improving their place, and how thinking about regeneration can instill a series of actions that we are thinking of as stewardship. So stewardship actions are usually attached to natural environmental fields, and the connection to place is seen as particularly important to activate people to act for their place. And we're starting to examine what does that mean in the cultural sector, and how could you build support and frameworks that can help activate and support and sustain stewardship type actions that make the local more rich and vibrant, and bring forth the assets that are already there, the resources, but in new and innovative ways, and add that spark to the development of the local area. And I knew there's I think that's there was one thing else, and I can't find the part of the notes. So, oh, I guess the other thing is just what we found within in situ, but also particularly in the Creator project previously in Portugal, was that there's a lot of agencies and organizations and individuals who are really interested in activating culture, or bringing forth the richness of a place's specific cultural resources, how things are meaningful in that place. And often they don't talk to each other. They live in different silos, they interact, they work in different silos, different sectors. And so as researchers, we learned the importance of breaking the silos as an intentional action, if we can bring that forward, to start the conversations among different types of agents. Because we did recognize this shared interest, but that creating these cross-sectoral connections in a way that can help support the continuity of actions is really important, and an ongoing issue and challenge to address. We know how busy everyone is, and extra networking never seems to have a time allocated to it. But we are seeing that beyond sustainability, this idea of continuity of practices, allowing for flexibility and evolution of things that may be invented and go forward, is really important. And oftentimes the support systems, particularly for initiatives that somehow bridge culture and tourism, fall short. It's either things are supported as a tourism activity or as a cultural activity. And if what you're doing is kind of both, and something that's meant to regenerate the heritage of a place, or this multifaceted kind of interest, the existing structures that are there to support local actions don't always know what to do with you. So this might be an interesting conversation for later on among our practitioners. But we do see there's a number of challenges, but we're hoping that we're on, we can contribute to somehow pushing the conversations forward, and be making a change in how this lovely and inspiring work can be better supported and sustained, so that cultural work becomes that true spark to I guess I feel awful about thinking of forest fires. Thinking of forest fires, and maybe not a flame, but we did mention the light that can guide regions forward. No.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you, Nancy. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, beautiful insights. And now, to last but not least, and to finish this and to continue this academic and industry dialogue, we have Irene. And Irene, I know that I'm going to share the screen for you. So have it here. Please, yes, you have your 5 minutes.
Okay. Well, we're talking about community-based tourism at the moment, and we refer to the participation and the engagement of local residents and their involvement in the preparation of the tourist setting. And in many cases, especially in small peripheries or small villages, which is the case I will be talking about, local people create associations, such as, for instance, cultural associations or youth centers, and organize and promote events that help towards community resilience. So if we can go to slide 2, I will guide you through the presentation. We can see that the involvement of locals is crucial in enhancing the entire tourist experience in many types of tourism as well. And many of you talked about festivals today. And I will too talk a little bit about festivals, and we'll see in slide 3 that cultural festival can be an interesting example of this creative tourism paradigm, as they provide a basis for human expression, connection, through bringing together diverse groups to share experiences and traditions. And I was asked by Fiona, actually, to give some insights on my research of music festivals on the island of Crete. which is, as you know, a popular tourist destination with also a long history in music. Slide 4 will show you that, in fact, traditional Cretan music is fundamental in the island's heritage, and that becomes especially apparent during the summer period, with musical gatherings and festivals in several areas around the island, where locals and tourists celebrate together, which is actually quite interesting. And slide 5, I'll just to show you that I will talk today about 3 musical workshops in the villages of Meronas, Houdetsi, and Hamezi, which are located, as we will see in slide 6, these 3 villages that are located in 3 different prefectures in Crete. If we see the map from left to right, we're talking about the prefectures of Rethymno, Heraklion, and Lasithi, and there the village of Meronas, Houdetsi, and Hamezi are located. So slide 7, and I'll stay here a bit, Sylvia, thank you. And this is Houdetsi village, where this is an interesting case because we have one musician, Rose Daly, which is internationally known. Many of you may have heard of him, who is actually Irish, not Greek. And he created a space for musicians of the world to engage in initiatives such as weekly musical workshops. And this workshop, the Labyrinth workshop, that's the name, in this village has resulted in a remarkable development for the village. In fact, I was talking with locals recently, and they humorously stated that they even have their own pharmacy in the village now. They didn't have one. So they have the workshop to thank for these developments. Because before its establishment, the village welcomed no visitors. The residents were few, mainly and very elderly. And nowadays, Houdetsi has been recognized as a music tourism destination in Crete. And slide 8, we'll see that the influence music has had. The next slide will show you that the influence music has had on the village is evident in every corner of the village, actually. You see a monument dedicated to the most prominent luthier of the village in the main square, the musical instruments painted on the walls of alleyways around the village. So it's kind of branded as a music village, this one. And the next one, slide 9, I'm trying to be quick, is Meronas village. Well, some cultural actors and residents of the place realized that there was a need for the knowledge surrounding traditional Cretan music to be passed down to the younger generations. So they created a Meronas music workshop, which is in fact kind of a child of Labyrinth music workshops. And it's there for 15 years now, addressing workshops to all levels of students, even professionals. It's a non-profit event. It relies on voluntary work. It's not identified as a music festival, actually. These people don't like the word festival. They're talking about celebration of music, celebration of Cretan music tradition. And it, in fact, has an educational character. We have lessons there. The lessons take place in the residents' yards, actually, in the homes of local people. So locals welcome participants into their homes, and from all parts of the country and from many other countries, such as Italy, Spain, Germany, Austria, Armenia, England, Iceland, and the USA, among others. These are what we recorded last summer, these countries. So this workshop, again, both financially and socially, an influx of visitors each year during the week of the workshops. And then again, the third village we will see in the next slide, slide 10, which is Hamezi, which is a very small village situated in the prefecture of Lasithi, and recently has attracted the attention of Cretan music enthusiasts, primarily due to the workshops that take place there. It's a week-long festival that focuses on Cretan music traditions and has adopted a summer workshop format with residents and camps. They have a newly built camp near the place where the seminars take place. And the emphasis is on teaching the art of traditional musical instruments to its participants. So the community supports this initiative very much. Locals are offering their yard site for the lessons again. The women of the village prepare meals for all participants of the festival every day. So all these cases, and I'm closing the discussion now. Also, you'll see in the next slide, slide 11, affirm that cultural celebrations can be driving forces of resilience, pride, and inclusion, creating long-term community and sustainable cultural heritage. So you can see that music in the yards, the stages are the yards, people's yards, or the squares of the villages, or the school, the yard of the school in the villages, how locals unite and how they reenact all traditional practices. And they use both public and private spaces to do that throughout the villages. And this is how these villages are transformed, let's say, into hotspots of culture, where visitors and residents, they both act as active participants. And you see the students going in coffee shops after hours, in squares, in the school, and these areas are given new functions as they practice there. They play music together in these areas. And it highlighted the degree of local hospitality. So very active participation of the community, cooking, inviting seminars into residents' homes, locals are engaging learners and performers. And this fact emphasizes the performativity of festivals as a whole. So in these cases, local people work as co-producers of the tourists' experiences. And this is interesting in my view. So very interactive. Yes, you can continue. This is some comments that we recorded during our visits to the villages. I don't know if you have the time to see the comments, but you see that they all feel like one strong community. Residents, tourists, students alike, they all join in common activities. And if you go on the next slide, this is important to point out, and this is we're going to the end of the presentation, that this kind of festival have two phases. One is the workshops where the students are taught Cretan music and arts, and the other is what happens afterwards, outside the seminars, where people bond with each other, they coexist, and they adopt the culture of the place. They become one. And there is one incident that one interviewee recorded here, one event which was characterized as very touching for the person that talked to us. And as the elderly people of the village join with the younger ones, with the students, and they dance together till 5 o'clock in the morning, they said, which is how the music and the bonding of people is very intense in this kind of instances. And just to point out that such exchanges bear testimony to the significance of this kind of events as more than passing entertainment, and through the creation of durable networks that make collaborations possible. That's it. Thank you for your attention, and maybe we'll have questions afterwards.
Thank you so much, Irini. Thank you so much. Very, what a beautiful examples. This and all together. So now we have our brains full of ideas, I'm sure. So yes, don't forget to put your thoughts and your questions into the chat. And now we are going into this cultural break where we are watching this short trailer of Creatur. And after that, really immediately to the questions and answers. Okay, thank you so much. And yes, go and put your thoughts and questions in the chat for later on.
Acho que engordei, mas adorei estes dias no Alentejo. Estamos finalmente de regresso a casa, depois do último dia de filmagens para o documentário Creatur. Perdi completamente a noção do número de quilómetros. e do número de horas de filmagens. Fomos de norte a sul do país à procura de projetos de turismo criativo.
Creative tourism connects active participation in creative activities with travel. These activities provide travelers an opportunity to learn about local cultures, artisanal and artistic techniques, to exchange thoughts and ideas with local residents and creators, and to have opportunities for creative self-expression. Creator is a multidisciplinary research and application project. It is a grand experiment working across 4 regions of Portugal, the North, Centro, Alentejo and Algarve. It involves 5 research centers and 40 pilot organizations across the country. And it aims to be much more than a tourism project connecting culture, tourism and local and regional development.
O entendimento do turismo criativo por parte do Criatur envolve de facto 4 dimensões, e foram estas que nós procuramos nas atividades que os pilotos estavam a desenvolver, que são a participação ativa, a possibilidade de aprendizagem por parte dos visitantes, uma autoexpressão criativa e também, muito importante, uma imersão no local e na cultura, nas tradições, nos lugares. A criação de uma rede de turismo criativo foi um dos objetivos e um dos focos principais durante todo o projeto do Criatur. E uma das atividades centrais foram os Idea Labs que promoveram isto. Nos Idea Labs nós conseguimos discutir, refletir e promover o desenvolvimento das atividades que estavam a ser desenvolvidas. Nesta lógica de interconhecimento e interaprendizagem com os pilotos, sendo co-investigadores connosco neste projeto. Para além dos Idea Labs, nós tivemos também outros componentes, como as publicações, tanto para a academia, como também para profissionais, e as conferências que permitiram divulgar e discutir os resultados a nível nacional e internacional.
Do lado dos participantes, tanto portugueses como estrangeiros, nota-se que as pessoas de facto estão imbuídas naquilo que estão a fazer, muito curiosas. O mais interessante é a ligação que se cria entre as pessoas.
We need each other. And so this type of tourism is about bringing you in and creating community. This is about, this is who I am. This is what I am. This is how I engage in life, in the world, through an art form, through a place, through how I believe and see the world. And I am moved deeply. So my partner got me these earrings here, and now I move happily.
And we're back. Looks like a long time ago that, very good things happened after that. Okay, so we am very aware of the time, and as unfortunately as usual, but just because it is very interesting, we don't have that much time now. But let's we have a lot of some of good insights in the chat and questions. Probably, I think that we can go to there. We have one question the impact that can have. I think that you saw that, Krešimir, that comment.
Yes, I did it.
If you want to take the lead and perhaps
and very thank you to
insights.
Leah because for that question, because it's an obvious one question, and I didn't have time and to explain everything in the 5-minute introduction. So yeah, as you said, festivals are too much, especially for small community as Šibenik. But as I said, we had that festival in a moment when we had nothing, when we were on the bottom, and we didn't have any. And one day we gathered like 10 or 15,000 people in Šibenik, and it was beautiful because we saw the economic potential, but it was unsustainable in any possible way. It was not sustainable. I mean, 15,000 people at one place, one time, in such a small place, it was unsustainable for so many reasons, transport reasons, every other reason. But as I said, that was the Big Bang. That was the initial point when people realized that culture can be, that we don't need to have beaches for families to have tourism, but we can have good concerts for tourism. So the festival I was talking about at the beginning of 15,000 people, it lasted only for 3 years, and then it broke down. Financially, organizationally, it was impossible to learn. But then we saw that culture and concert is something that we can use as a main attraction for tourism. But that's one big point that I forgot to mention, that at that point, in 2010, we saw what tourism can do to other communities. We already saw so many examples all over Europe, and some even in Croatia. And we said, okay, we want that, but we need to be smart. And that's when we developed a project called City is a Stage. And we identified like 45 different places where we can organize concerts and all kinds of stuff. But when I say stages, I mean open air stages, squares, stairs, streets, everything from, 25 people up to 1,000 people on the main fortress. And if you understood, I said 1,000 people. The biggest square, the biggest stage is 1,000 people. So we don't have massive festivals anymore. We have a lot of small activities going on in a lot of small places. Even that Shipcase festival that I said was one of the biggest in Croatia, it doesn't mean it doesn't have 15,000 people in one place in one time. It's going on through the project City is a Stage. As I said, we developed 45 different stages, and that festival is going on the 5 bigger and 10 little places all over the city. And it's going out of the main season. It's in September, so we were very, very careful not to make something unsustainable, not to make crowd. And the most important part is not to interfere with everyday life of the people, because with all these concerts, with all these things, we don't interfere. It's a small concert, but a lot of them. And the best part of it, if you want to organize a lot of different small events, you have to involve local people. So now everybody in Šibenik has something to do with some of those concerts, some of those festivals. So that's the way we approached the problem of festivals. We broke down one big festival to a lot of small events going on small venues all over the city, all over the time.
Thank you, Krešimir. Thank you. And yes, we have also another comment on the chat about this importance of involving community, of this importance of ownership, and that. Thank you so much, Mala, for your comment. And I know that we have we're very much on time. But I wanted to have the opportunity also for everyone to have a say. Perhaps we have this question on, I have one question, but I think that this question of Bernadette, and I think Bernadette we're going to meet tomorrow, right? So I have Bernadette is wondering about, do public authorities respond to all of these good achievements and all of these good that you have been doing in your territories. So I perhaps will have the word perhaps now to Sabine. Sabine, do you have the feeling that the public authorities also have responding and to the impacts that you have been doing in your place, in your locale?
Thank you for the question. Actually, in our Manor network, some of the participants are from public sector as well. So they directly interact with us. So that's the good part. And as this was the time when these policy development documents were made, we are included in it. So the Manor network is included in culture strategy for Valmiera County and in tourism as well. And of course, we have these project competitions that we are applying to get some funding for our activities. But yeah, we have some kind of support. It always could be bigger, of course, but yeah, I have the support from the municipality, and not just financially. It's in marketing and it's in tourism activities as well.
So you're involving them directly. Yeah, that's an important aspect to mention. And Katja, I don't know if you have also any, because a lot of what you're doing is very on the regeneration of the territories themselves and the territories that are at risk in some cases. I don't know if you have any insights from the public authorities or policies. You are muted. You have to unmute.
Sorry, Sylvia, can you repeat, because I was losing?
No, I was just going back to you if you have also any experience on if the public authorities, in your case, if they respond to all the good and the achievements that you have been doing.
Yes, as Sabine was saying, we also have the same thing here. Anything that we create or develop in this village, we also try to involve the local community as well. So, for example, if we have like a group that it's coming for us to visit, for example, they will lunch with us to taste the typical dishes from here. So all the ingredients, for example, are produced by the local community in the village. So we buy the cabbage to the lady who planted. So we try to create like a small economy here in the village, and it's very important for the locals. So we want to create a good balance for the one who visits, like to feel and be attached to the persons and the stories of the village, and for the ones who lived and we want them to feel good to have the tourists on the village, because we want them to feel like attached to the village, because we don't want the village lose people. I think that's it.
Thank you. And Einar, do you have also some reflections on your case in Iceland about also the public authorities and the recognition of the work probably that you have been doing? And you are muted. You have to unmute.
I'm sorry, you have to repeat this.
Yes, no,
I am both connected to the phone and the computer, and exactly while you were addressing me, the phone needed to call. Oh, I'm sorry.
No worries. I was just asking if in your case, and if you feel also that you have the recognition of from the public and from the public authorities as well, the policymakers, for instance, to the work that you have been doing.
Yes, I have got a really good support both from the city or the town authorities, as well as the locals. Lots of people who left the area when they were young and to live in Reykjavik or wherever, they are really much following what we are doing. And in late April last year, 2025, when we announced the first monument, we got 150 people coming to join, both locals, lots of people who have lived or have connections to the area, lots of professors in history and in literature, in food related projects, and we were hoping that we might get maybe 80 to 100 people. So when all those people showed up and all the feedback we got, and since then we have been a little bit behind with putting up the next monuments, and we are starting to feel it now. People are waiting. When will you announce the next one, and where will it be? So yes, we are luckily having lots of support from both locals and the authorities, and even from the president of Iceland, who I met last year, and she was going to attend the event when we opened the first monument, but unfortunately she had to go to the Vatican to a funeral at the same time.
Thank you so much, Shana. Thank you for that. And yes, I know that we are on our time, right? And please let me know if we have if you have to wrap up, or if we yes.
Thank you so much. That's a wonderful panel discussion. I learned a lot. I'm still learning. It's a pity that we don't have much time. I have a short question for the presenters, maybe one question each, if we can have a very short answer as well. And we can continue this conversation on YouTube chat after that, because many people from Asia and Southeast Asia are sleeping right now. I'm sure they're going to wake up tomorrow and they post questions for you. So for Kashmir, I'm very interested to know that you said that the culture is the main attraction and was the base. So you told the story how it developed and how the market got formed and the destination get very popular. But if a little bit of information about the background, how the capacity was built or the community capacity was built to host such a big development also. It should be something behind the scene. Community work together, meeting, and then to arrange this to be a host for this kind of destination. Also, it has another story, I think, in the background.
Yeah, but you wanted a short answer.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes, definitely. So the Šibenik is on the Adriatic coast. It's an attractive destination. It has 2 UNESCO monuments, and all the places around Šibenik are used to work with tourism. So tourism was nothing strange for us. But also when it comes to a culture department, there is one big thing, and that's maybe the most important thing I will say today. We used to have for the last 60 years, even from Yugoslavia, we had an international children's festival in Šibenik, and we didn't have any big venue. So we had to invent a lot of small venues, and we had to improvise. And the children's festival was part was, different groups all over the world were performing in Šibenik, which was in 60s, 70s, 80s. It was a big thing for us. When I was 9 years old, I was singing Shosholoza with South African choirs, So it was really, really beautiful for me, and it reached me. But also, as it was 50% improvised, we had to create all the small stages. Everybody was involved in some part. Either or somebody was performing, somebody was the carrying around the PA systems, carrying around stages. And we had a lot of workshops. So it was like some kind of summer school today in the Western world, but in Yugoslavia, it was pretty rare. So everybody's going to some kind of workshops, and everybody in Šibenik participated as a kid on that children's festival, even as a performer or as an organizer. And we saw the potential of performing live on streets, on small stages. So yes, there is a background. There is a huge history connected with that children's festival that we had for 70 years, even from the times of Conrad Tito and everybody else. So that's the background story.
Thank you very much. So we are pretty eager to hear from the stories and how to share these lessons, and the other communities can learn how to build community capacity for this. I'm sure Silva and Fiona are going to reorganize, or maybe a series. We need a series of webinars to cover this discussion. It's not enough.
I'm here. I'm ready.
Thank you. Thank you. If I recall Sabine's presentation and the series of workshops, the networking, public discussions, and these wonderful activities. But Sabine, you mentioned about the shrinking population and getting smaller and so on. So how this process of this tourism development work to redevelop the county or the area? So is there any tangible impact, as if you can shorten your answer? Thank you.
Yes, actually, that's the reason why. So, as habitant numbers are decreasing. So, although a lot of heritage sites goes empty, that's the very main reason why we developed this Manor network to see the opportunity how to fill them in. And actually, there was in the comments one comment about that. Actually, a lot of locals don't go to these sites that we provide. And it's very interesting because when I talked about the Ethno Music Festival, we interviewed the Valmiera citizens that is next to the corner of the festival, and they didn't know that festival exists. And it's very interesting about this information bubbles that we have. We can work in a tourism case and locals, provide them different kind of offers and manage all this thing. Of course, it's very good if the foreigners comes and take our stories and sites and everything. But locals are one of the main target audiences as well.
Thank you very much. So we don't see much from our everyday life better than people who see it from outside, and that is how we can develop the culture and identity. Thank you. If I recall from Irini's cultural festivals and the various events and what make the city more live, especially when you said people are dancing until 5 a.m. in the morning. So I'm wondering how it is aligned with the community, or do they feel convenient with this level of festivity in their everyday life?
Yeah, well, we are Greeks, so we are used to this kind of music taking place until late at night. And what was interesting, and thank you for the question, because it's interesting to point out that I was surprised to see that even in the villages, we are happy to participate in these kind of events. And you know, in Crete we have a tradition that we say kandada, and we walk with instruments around the villages and under the balconies of houses to sing to our loved ones. And this was taking place at 5 o'clock in the morning in these villages. And they were happy to regenerate the tradition. So they were all really happy to do that. No complaints there.
Yeah, it's very amazing to know about the cultural differences. I live in Japan. I've been here for 20 years and more. In many local destinations and villages, they close up everything at around 5-6 p.m.
I know.
And they say this is a community space from this time. But when I was in Portugal, near the borders of Spain in the north, I was in a hotel and was surprised that next to the hotel was a festival going on until maybe 4 a.m. And I was wondering how people can sleep or can live with this kind of activities. But yeah, you're right. Thank you very much.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
I'm sorry to steal one more minute, but this is also important for us. It's really important to choose the type of culture that goes with your people. What I try to say, we in Šibenik used to have those kinds of festivities in 3 a.m, and the people were complaining. But now with this kind of music, when concert is over in like 11 or o'clock or midnight, and everybody goes to sleep, as people like to do here in Šibenik, nobody complains. But in a near town city like in Split, they have a techno festival, and they have thousands and thousands of people, and they have thousands and thousands of people complaining about those people. So it's really important to choose the type of, if Greek people like to dance in 5 a.m, do it. But if people like to sleep in the midnight, there is a kind of activity that can accomplish that. And when we changed the type of music, the type of culture, the number of complaints, it's like 90% down.
I see. Yeah, that's also a very clever point. Yes, thank you so much. And if I recall from Einar's presentation and the story of storytelling, the Santas that was Yulelat, if I pronounce it well. So, Einar, how do you let these stories are told? What environment? Maybe we need some source of arrangement that this Yulelat can tell the stories to people. So, in what kind of arrangements you make this happen?
Yeah, if I understand the question right, it's more like, how do I choose where to place each of the Yulelat?
Exactly. Yeah.
It's when I started with this project, I did not think about anything like that. But as soon as I started to work with it, I found out everyone has to be somehow placed in a situation where it has connection. So, for example, I run a small dairy and I am making skyr, a dairy product. And one of the Yulelats really likes skyr and is called skyr eater, or even more like skyr container. So I placed him outside my business here on the tourist attraction, and I am talking about the skyr, explaining the root behind it, and at the same time, I'm also talking about in Iceland how skyr has been developing through the years. The little one is called, one of the Yulelats is called the little one, and he will be placed where we now have an abandoned school, and he is going to represent the story of education in Iceland. Iceland didn't start formal education until around 1890, and in the rurals, out all around the country, it was for the first 20-30 years. The kids from the age of 10 to 12, they had maybe 3 or 4 weeks year of education. Weeks per year of education. So like 1 month a year. So after 3 months of education in 3 years, you were graduated. So this is to make long story short, how I try to put them in. There was a school for women where they were taught how to run a household. And one of the Yule lads really likes to get behind the desk and in the storage room where you store all the food. And those girls, those women, they learned how to preserve the food, both so it did not damage, and also how to hide it from the working people or the people on the house, so that they did not get into it too much, because at that time we didn't have enough food to eat all day like we do today, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So after maybe a half a year, 1 year of working with this project, I came down to this conclusion, and I have managed to find 13 different spots. And the father and the mother, we are still working on how we can represent them and find them a place. But the Christmas cat, we are now in the next month opening a new sport hall and swimming facilities for the school and for the locals in our little community. And I have been using every opportunity in the past 1 year to encourage the authorities to call it the Cat's Cave. So if they will, because we all like cats more or less, we like to pet them, but we don't like them to be too much around us. And they are soft, and they are nice, and you feel comfortable, and especially with the kids who are in special needs or in disabled in somehow. Animals make very often really big impact on their daily life. So I am really hoping that they will take me up on this and name it the Cat's Cave.
Thank you very much. Silvia, you see how deep is this conversation is going, and we need you to come back again with the details. I really wanted to ask a question to Katia about how they developed from 5 to 50 mask performance, and the visitor number went to 1,000. How it is accessible, how they do the marketing. Is the accessibility of the village or the capacity kept with this rapid development and so on? Katia, in a very short sentence, please.
How do we pass for 5 people to 55? It was very simple. It was starting like a joy. Let's play with this conversation. When Lusitania was recording all the traditions with the old people from the village, they say, "Oh, you have to cover your face with a cork mask. The guy lady dresses, and the lady dress men dresses." And we start in 2005. We thought, let's see how it's going. And we just joined 5 people to play with this tradition that we didn't know if it was like that or not, and shocked us a little bit how this was evolving, because we didn't have any marketing, we didn't do anything. That the thing that makes us so have a big group nowadays, it's because the local people from the Goiás village, the other village of the local communities, starting to join us. Let me join to you to have fun, and starting like in generally to play and staying with the locals on this day. We don't want more people in the village because of the massing tourism on this day, but it's the only day in the year that we have too many people in the village. But for example, it will snow, it will rain a lot, it will be too windy, we never cancel the party because it's a tradition. So even if we have tourism or no have tourism, we do the party as well because it's a tradition. So we don't want to change the thing just because of the tourism. Okay, the tourism, it's a complement for the people see how these people enjoy this day. Okay, that's the difference. We don't want the tourism to come. We want, but not as much as they want to, not to destroy the true party. Yeah.
Perfect. So I see that you are able to sell the culture, and the more you sell the culture, you have more stronger identity. And
Yeah.
we are much eager to learn from you more. And finally, Nancy, you did the wrap up. You are the person, I think, behind these connections and networkings. And I just looked through your website, and it's amazing. How are you doing these all together, including local people in agencies um, I was really interested in your concept of using the existing resources in a new way, and that is the meaning of creativity, and how to make a local focus on existing resources. I am very much associated with sustainable livelihoods research, and the resources like economic, social, human resource, and so on. And yes, I think if we can find new ways of utilizing resources, it brings sustainability. And I really want to learn from your initiatives more. So if I may ask you, what do you think and behind the scene that we take home as a lesson from your experiences?
Oh, thank you for that challenging question. And I'm looking forward to looking at your research as well. I think what we've learned is how important the cultural dimension is to places, to the meaningfulness of places, and to the quality of life, and the sparks that can make places distinctive and be those roots of new ideas. Well, there's a lot of presentations. Well, I guess all the presentations are tied to heritage in some way, including the Children's Festival. Things appear in locations. In Iceland, there's the poem of the Yule Lads that has sparked this wonderful explosion of different facets. And I guess the other thing is, first, culture is important. It's often not included in the planning and the decision making for places, and it really should be explicit. It's not just a side thing that we do to entertain ourselves, but it's how we make life meaningful. And I think there's also this wonderful unpredictability about what might happen next. And so we see this in all of the projects presented here. It's an active process. It's a creating, it's a stewardship, it's a recognition and appreciating what is distinctive and special of a place that makes it meaningful to you. And somehow we have to be open to things more that are not perhaps linear or planned out as much, and to make sure there is this responsiveness to ideas that percolate up as people come together in a place and create new ideas. I'll stop.
Thank you.
Message. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yes, I think we have to learn from your documented experiences, and we have your website, so we are going to explore it more. Thank you so much. I think finally we are going to give the difficult job to Malcolm. Malcolm, you are going to wrap up. I don't know how are you going to wrap up so much of the various discussions, but yeah. So Jafar is not here, and you do the difficult job.
Thank you very much, Kazem. Thank you also to the presenters, the organisers. It's a very important connection between tourism and cultural heritage. But one of the things that this webinar showed was the fact that there's often a disconnect between cultural actors and the tourism sector. Cultural engagement is very powerful, but the two sides sometimes do not get together. And that's the message that this webinar gave me anyway. I'd like to ask some of the questions that you've all covered in my report on this webinar. First of all, there's a collaboration gap often between cultural performers and the tourism sector, or is it the other way around? And we need to know what the meaningful connections will have to be to make this fully a value proposition. How can local traditions be used and transformed in order to support the tourism industry, if indeed that's what we want to do? We looked at geographic focus. How can collaborations specifically benefit smaller places than larger ones, and marginalised areas in terms of revitalisation, which is something we're doing here in research. And then what is the regenerative question anyway? What is it we're looking for to support both sides of the equation, the cultural actors and heritage, and the tourism industry that uses that heritage and those people? So thank you very much. Again, I don't have time to really develop this, but we do have a reporting system in place in Scott Webinars. So you can actually get a lot of this material, as Kazem said, tomorrow morning on YouTube. Please forgive my voice. I'm a little bit, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's COVID coming back. Who knows? Anyway, thank you very much for a great webinar. I enjoyed it. And I think you've had a lot of very good things to say.
Thank you, Malcolm. Thank you very much. It's past 1:30 a.m. in Japan. And
that
yes,
might be the reason,
yeah. Okay. If no question and comment, Sylvia, final words from you before we end up the session.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you. Just just want to thank very much to our speakers, Krešimir, Katja, Einar, Sabine, Nancy, and Irene. Thank you so much. Thank you for all your insights and your generosity to sharing your reflections. I think that we had a very good, and I think it's rare to have this kind of discussions and grounded discussions and dialogue between practitioners and on the ground and those in the research. So I think it was a good, for me, I enjoyed it deeply. So thank you so much, and a good and really thank you for the organizers, for the Scott team. Thank you for pulling this together. And I also want to mention Fiona, that really wanted to be here, but for personal reasons and family issues, she couldn't. But a huge thank you for also her putting this together as well and having that. And yes, I think that we have to continuing this. It is going to continue on its own on YouTube, according to. So yes, we'll go there. Yeah, we look forward, and thank you so much for all the attendees that are still here and join us. Thank you for keeping with us. Thank you for your insights and for listening to this and share this, yeah, all of this good and all of this importance of culture and tourism relations that we have. Thank you so
Thank
much
you,
for
Sylvia.
that.
Thank you, Sylvia. The videos can be on. Later, we can have a group photo. If the participants are convenient with that, please open your cameras that we can have a group photo before ending the session. Let's see. Faces, great.
Oh, we now see faces. That's very good to see the faces.
Yes, yes.
And familiar, a lot of familiar faces. Very good to see you.
Great, great. And let me borrow your big smile. Great. Okay, so thank you so much, and wish to see you on Scott webinars again.
Bye-bye. Thank you so much. Have a great day, you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.